My name is Emmy and I'm here with Yikong from FTC Cattlebots 20344 to tell you guys about the different types of intake designs with its pros and its cons.
If you're new to robotics, an intake is a subsystem that picks up game pieces to help your team score. The principles of an intake is to ensure reliability, consistency, controllability, and efficiency.
There are numerous intake designs because of game pieces and scoring methods changing every year. With this in mind, it may be difficult to find out how to score effectively while building a robot in a timely manner. However, do not fret. There are two different types of intakes, active and passive intakes.
Passive intakes are manually operated by the driver's controls to pick up game pieces using a gripper, also called a claw. Active intakes are motor or servo operated to make contact with game pieces using a continuous motion of wheels, tubes, flaps, etc.
Passive intakes are typically servo operated. They are usually stationary, meaning they can only pick up game pieces in the orientation that they are positioned. This limitation can be solved by adding another servo to create a pivoting wrist, which increases degrees of freedom and allows the intake to pick up pieces in more orientations. They are made from pre-existing components but are most commonly 3D printed.
One example of a passive intake is the claws we used during the 2024 to 2025 Into the Deep season.
Passive intakes are lightweight and highly precise, making them easier to reiterate and refine throughout the season. They're especially effective at picking up irregularly shaped game pieces, such as those used in the 2023 to 2024 Center Stage and Into the Deep seasons. However, they are generally slower than active intakes and can only handle a limited number of game pieces at a time and are more fragile.
Active intakes are typically powered by motors or servos. They can adjust in real time when contacting a game piece, either through sensor feedback or manually changing the intake speed. These systems can pick up game pieces in nearly any orientation and may be designed as top-down horizontal or vertical intakes. They are built using a variety of materials including pre-existing wheels, rubber bands, surgical tubing, and 3D printed TPU wheels.
Some examples of active intakes were our first Into the Deep active intake, which came from pre-existing wheels. The wheels were from Go Builda, and they were like the gecko wheels. The next, another type of active intake is the TPU wheels, which we use them on our one of our iterations active intakes, where you see on the top row, those wheels are made out of TPU. Another type of intake is the rubber band intake. It's featured from Game Manual Zero, and I'm pretty sure it was part of a Vex robot. And then another type is the surgical tubing, which was featured from Studico Robotics and Acme Robotics. Compliant wheels are flexible wheels that deform when they come into contact with a game piece, allowing for better grip. Solid wheels, on the other hand, require precise spacing between the game piece and the storage area so that there is enough compression to create contact, while still allowing the piece to move inward. These wheels can be used individually, but combining them is often recommended. They are especially effective for game pieces that may appear in different orientations. They can deform, such as the artifacts in this year's A Decode season, or in games that require rapid cycling. Wheel intakes are fast and can collect game pieces in any orientation. However, they can be bulky and may accidentally intake multiple pieces at once.
A rubber band intake uses two sprockets on either side of the robot with rubber bands looped around them to form a hollow roller covered in bands. This design is especially effective for collecting spherical game pieces, such as the artifacts used in Decode.
A surgical tubing intake uses multiple strands of surgical tubing, rotating at high speeds to pull in many small game pieces, sorry. This system can collect multiple elements at once and is often more efficient than traditional wheeled intakes. It performs especially well with small or irregularly shaped game pieces. However, it requires high RPM to function effectively, and can be less controllable, and is not well suited for larger game pieces.
Active intakes generally allow for faster cycle times and can collect game pieces regardless of their orientation. They are also highly adaptable with many design variations suited for different game requirements. However, they are more mechanically complex, require more maintenance, and tend to be heavier. They also carry the risk of over-intaking and accidentally collecting more game pieces than intended.
Here is a summary table of all the active intakes discussed, including best uses, strengths, and weaknesses.
Thank you for watching today's video, and don't forget to visit scoutthebots.org.